This is the image the Qatar government and FIFA have been trying so hard to promote. But the mood music has been anything but celebratory. Qatar's human rights record has overshadowed everything in this World Cup. Even the players are talking politics rather than football.
The winner to organise the 2022 FIFA World Cup is Qatar.
Many of those now playing for their national side were teenagers when Qatar was chosen. England defender Eric Dyer was 16, but he told journalists Qatar's treatment of migrant workers was a terrible situation. FIFA's president had written to players like Dyer, urging them to focus on football, not politics. Failing to shut down the debate, Gianni Infantino chose a different tactic today. He went on the attack, accusing Qatar's critics of hypocrisy.
I think for what we Europeans have been doing in the last 3,000 years around the world, we should be apologizing for the next 3,000 years before starting to give moral lessons. Hundreds of thousands of workers from developing countries come here. They earn 10 times more than what they earn in their home country. We in Europe, we close our borders and we don't allow practically any worker from these countries.
Both Qatar and FIFA have disputed claims that 6,500 migrant workers have died building the World Cup stadiums. They say the official number of work-related deaths is just 3.
We hear a lot about sports washing, but this was FIFA washing, insisting that everything would be hunky-dory and we shouldn't worry about anything. He accused Western journalists and the Western countries of hypocrisy, but I think he was also guilty of the same thing.
And FIFA's president went from the bizarre to the ridiculous today when he got personal.
They know what it means to be discriminated, to be bullied as a foreigner in a foreign country. As a child at school, I was bullied because I had red hair and I had these red, how do you call them? Freckles.
2, 4, 6, 8, Qatar must legislate.
Those comments infuriated protesters outside the Qatar embassy in London this afternoon.
Well, regardless of his own experience, the most important thing right now is the suffering of Qatari people, particularly women, LGBTs and migrant workers. His statement is an insult to their suffering.
The World Cup starts tomorrow with the home side playing Ecuador. Politics won't be far away. The England and Wales captains will be wearing One Love armbands to raise awareness of discrimination. An act of rebellion, be it small, in a country where same-sex relationships are outlawed.
Well, there is also some sport in the World Cup, and tomorrow night the football will finally kick off with hosts Qatar facing Ecuador, followed by a frenetic 3 weeks of games. And our sports reporter Jordan Jarrett-Bryant is here with the latest. What can we expect, Jordan?
Well, as you mentioned there, this time tomorrow the opening game will start, and you saw in James' report there's been so much controversy around this World Cup with it being in Qatar. But this is the Football World Cup, does finally get underway, as you mentioned there again, Qatar taking on Ecuador in that first game. The football start, and the 5 times champions Brazil begin this tournament as the favourites. Their squad is stacked full of players that play in the Premier League for the likes of Arsenal, Manchester United, Chelsea and more. England, depending on what bookies you listen to, are 3rd or 4th favourites to win this World Cup. All discussion for last year amongst football fans, should Southgate pick a back 3, a back 5, should it be Sterling, should it be Saka? That all ends on Monday when they get their campaign underway with their game against Iran. Rob Page, manager of Wales, they take on the USA. They're in the same group, and that group, rankings-wise, is the hardest group of all of the groups in this competition. The World Cup does get underway and the football does begin, but I think we're still going to hear lots of things outside of the pitch in the field of play. Sweepstakes all over the country get underway as the World Cup begins. The football begin.
All right, we're looking forward to it. Thanks, Jordan.